Hi everybody, this will be part 34 of the character rigging tutorial series. In this video we're going to talk about how to reduce the amount of attributes that are available to animate for each control. So the main reason we're doing this is so that some controls and body parts don't have the option to do things we don't want them to. So a good example is the elbow control here. I don't ever have a need to be able to move this control. It doesn't move the joint. I don't want to accidentally screw up my control rig. I also don't want the elbow to bend up like this, and I don't want the elbow to rotate. So that's not a natural way for the arm at this joint to animate and rotate. So the elbow is a hinge joint, so I just need to be able to rotate it in this direction, which is the rotate Y. So what we're going to do is take some of these attributes like the translate X, Y, and Z and lock those attributes and then hide those attributes. So that way when I select this control, the only thing I can do is turn it on and off visibility wise, and then animate it in the rotate Y axis. Alright, so let's start with each control. Let's go to the pelvis and work our way outward from that. So the pelvis, we do need to translate and rotate this, but we don't ever need to scale this. So it depends on if you want to scale your character. You can leave the scales on there, but for this character point of view, I know the scale I want to have this character. I'm not going to do any stretchy rig components here. So we're just going to allow the ability for the pelvis to move and rotate. So we're going to take those three scale X, Y, and Z attributes. So we do want to be able to translate, rotate, and turn on and off the visibility of this control if we wanted to. But the scale X, Y, and Z, we never want to be able to adjust that. So I have my pelvis control selected, and I, in the channel box, drag select the scale X, Y, and Z names. I'm going to right click, and first I'm going to choose lock selected, and then I'm going to right click and choose hide selected. So locking will create a gray box beside that, which means I can't do anything with that anymore unless I unlock it. And if I right click and choose hide, that removes it from the visibility of the channel box. Now it does not remove it completely from your scene. Let's see, is it attribute editor? Nope. Channel controls. So if you go to edit channel control, the scale attributes are still here. They're still in the middle section. They're just non-keyable hidden attributes. So if you wanted to add those back, we can say, okay, make those keyable, make them back visible, and then we would take those scale X, Y, and Z and choose unlock selected. Okay. So it doesn't mess up anything, it just temporarily locks them and hides them. So let's right click again and choose hide. Okay. So let's do the same thing for the spine, but our spine controls, I don't want to translate, I don't want to scale. I want to be able to rotate them and turn off the visibility. So let's select the translate and scale attributes for my spine 1 control. Right click, lock, right click, hide. Okay. So I'm going to work my way up. I can do this with all of my vertical controls here. Make sure, I think I missed one there. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. All right. So with all of these spine and neck controls, I just want to rotate. So I want to select the translate and scale, right click, lock, right click, hide. Okay. So all of these should just give me an option to rotate. Okay. Even if I have my translate or scale tool, they're grayed out. So there's no way that I can accidentally move or scale those. Let's select our jaw. And let's do the same thing for jaw, translate, and scale. We'll lock and hide those. Okay. The eye controls, we don't ever want to scale them, so we'll select all three of those and lock and hide the scale. Lock and hide the scale. But let's say the character is turned all the way around this way, but I want to be able to move my eye control over here. I'm still going to have a need to rotate this every once in a while. So I'm going to leave translate, rotate for the eye controls. All right. All right, let's work our way outward. So we have shoulder, and there's no need for me to translate or scale the shoulder. And actually, this is going to be the same for the elbow and the wrist. So I can lock my translate and scale for the shoulder, elbow, and wrist. So do lock, we'll do hide. Okay. For my helper joint, I don't need to rotate or scale that. That's a point movement control. So we're going to select rotate and scale, and we'll do lock and hide. Okay. For the twist controls, I set it up as a parent and scale constraint, so I probably will want to keep translate, rotate, and scale there. For the hand control, I've already locked and hidden the translate, rotate, and scale, and added these secondary attributes. So I'm going to leave all that as is. So we'll go to the other arm, shoulder, elbow, and wrist. We don't want to translate or scale, so we'll lock and hide those. Lock and hide. The helper joint, we do not want to rotate or scale. Make sure visibility is still there. Lock and hide that. Okay, the twist joints are going to stay as is. So just go make sure. Yep. And then my hand for the fingers control, it stays where that is. All right. Moving on to the legs, we can select all 4 of our helper controls here. And let's see, we don't want to rotate and scale these. These are helpers. So lock and hide. Okay, we just want to translate those. The twist, we're going to leave translate, rotate, and scale on. The knee controls, we don't want to scale, but we do for the same reason as the eye look ats. We want to translate and rotate, but we have no reason to scale. So we'll lock and hide the scale. The foot controls, we want to move and rotate them. So let's see if my mouse will work. There you go. Let's select both of those. No reason to scale, so we're going to lock and hide the scale for these. This one wasn't selected, so we'll try again. Lock and hide, but we do want to move and rotate them. There you go. All right, so each one of the foot controls, subfoot controls, that is the peel heel, the toe tap, and the tippy toe, we want to just rotate them, so we don't have any need to translate or scale. So lock, hide. There you go. Let's make sure they're all done. Just rotates. Right, there we go. So the move all, we may want to scale this. This is the only time opportunity we can scale this. So we'll just leave the move all as is. We're going to go back to some hinge joints and make some adjustments for hinge joints. So the elbow, I'm going to reduce this down again. So there's no reason to rotate in the rotate Z or rotate X. I just want to allow this elbow joint to rotate in the rotate Y. So for any hinge joints or hinge areas, we don't want to allow the animator to rotate in other axes. So let's select the rotate X and rotate Z. Right click and let's go do the other arm as well, since we're at it. There we go, right and left elbow. And we're going to lock the rotate X and rotate Z. And then we'll hide rotate X, rotate Z. There you go. So that way the only opportunity I can have, even if I try to rotate it in one of the other axes, is going to rotate it in just the rotate Y. All right. So the only other controls we want to reduce the limit on is we don't want to be able to rotate the foot like that. That's unnatural. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to find whichever one this one is, rotate X, and we'll select both peel heel controls, and we're going to lock and hide the rotate Y and rotate Z. So we'll say lock and hide. This is the peel heel controls, the ones that move the foot up like this. Okay. The same thing for the toe tap, rotate X as well. So let's take both toe taps, lock and hide, rotate Y. There you go. But the tippy toe, we want to be able to rotate that from all axes. So we're going to leave those there. So when you joint that is more of a hinge kind of motion, we want to, or control that's a hinge kind of motion, we want to reduce the range of motion down to just what we're allowing that body part to do. So that will easily allow the animator to only animate the character exactly how you want to. From the animation standpoint, that reduces the amount of attributes that we have to worry about. and also make sure the body moves how we expect and want it to. All right, so that'll wrap up this video on how to reduce the attributes that can be animated by locking and hiding them in the channel box.